Hello, everyone. Oh, I love to see faces. So if you can put your camera on, 'cause it makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself while I'm learning. I have a lot of content, so I'll make sure to get things going. I also know that there's a ton of people who want to watch this recording that have never heard of me and don't even know what we're doing here. So I want to just start quickly. I know some of you have heard this story a million times, so bear with me. But I wanted to just share a little bit like how I got here and yeah, background of how I got to now with talking a lot about hormone syncing. So 7 years ago is when my journey started. After about a year of motherhood, I was really struggling. I couldn't get myself to eat the right things. I couldn't get myself to work out at all. I felt like I knew what I was supposed to do, but I couldn't even get myself to do that. I had DVDs on workouts on DVDs, couldn't get myself to do that. And so really on a whim, desperation, whatever you call it, I decided to join an old high school acquaintance in like this group to do the same program together. And really that changed everything for me. I was finally surrounded by people who had the same goals. Otherwise, I was around like my husband and my brother-in-law and a 9-month-old baby. Like none of my husband was eating all the pizza and had zero interest in getting healthy. So that was not encouraging or helpful. So being around other women that were really trying and making it happen, even though they were busy, even though they were traveling, even though, they had sick kids in the night, like all of those things really helped me get over my excuses and really take care of myself. Um, so pretty naturally, I wanted to share with other people. I got amazing results. Like better than I felt in high school, right? So I was like, other people have to do this. So I partnered with, it was then Beachbody, now BODi. Have been coaching now, running virtual groups alongside a lot of my team members. A lot of them probably are the ones invited you here. So if you're invited here by someone else, they are on my team. We often run groups together. And yeah, I absolutely love what we do is just creating that community and helping people actually take action and make changes versus knowing what to do and doing it, right? Now, again, I've been doing this for 7 years. And over the 7 years, especially the last few years, as I myself am not 20 something anymore, and a lot of my clients are getting older, I have noticed that more and more of them have been like, Caitlin, it's not working anymore. Caitlin, like swear I'm doing all the things and like I'm gaining weight or they're struggling. And I heard a lot about hormones and it just intellectually made sense that this would have something to do with weight loss and all the things. And so a year ago, I decided to partner and start learning from a hormone expert that really specialized in this. And not only just hormones, but hormones in regards to women and weight loss and training and nutrition and all the things. Honestly, for myself, because I didn't want to feel like I was kind of terrifying getting older because I was like, oh my gosh, everyone says it's so harder. I don't want to be in that boat. So I wanted to figure it out for myself. So when I got there, I didn't, struggle. And I wanted to be able to help other women figure it out too, right? Like I wanted to be able to offer a solution and a solution effectively. So they didn't feel stuck anymore either. So thus, the more I learn, again, I'm a year in now. At that point, it was more of an educational course and certification and things that I did. The exciting part that I'm sharing more about now is that that same hormone expert has partnered with a physical trainer and a virtual doctor and is really like bringing things, more solutions to the table. So like now she created this 28-day fitness program with videos from the virtual doctor, with videos from herself. So it's like the education and the application of the workouts in one. And as I've said before, like I haven't seen this done by anyone, not BODi, by anyone in before. And it's so needed because still to this day, like I keep sharing about like what you should be doing, but I keep seeing women doing things that are really shooting themselves in the foot. And so that's what this call is really meant to be, just like giving you some of those big picture things of what to do and what not to do when actually trying to get healthy and lose that weight. And then I'll also share again more about this program and how you can join if you're interested in that. But okay, and we're going to sample the workout. So all that happening. Hopefully I can make this talk faster. I don't know. People say I talk too fast. If you talk faster, we'll get through even faster. But anyways, first, if you also know me, I really would love to just pray over us, pray over this process. Because I believe if you bring him into everything you do, it brings clarity and peace, and strength that you can get no other way. So, join me in a short prayer. God, I pray that you meet us here in this space. God, fill our cups like only you can. God, open our eyes and our ears to see and know what would actually be helpful to us on our journeys. God, you know. As we continue to connect and work on our physical wellness, God, please help us to focus on how we feel and not how we look. God, I pray that we run to you for comfort, not food. God, I pray that we put food and exercise in its proper place, not never above you, but rather just a tool that will help us be energetic, confident, and productive to do whatever it is you have us put on this earth to do. God, I pray for long lives. I pray for purposeful lives. I pray for peace for everyone that is on this call and listening, for your glory and honor. Amen. All right, now I am going to screen share the sample, and we're going to just gather, and then I will debrief. It won't be brief, but we'll debrief after. All right, I'd love to hear in the chat what you thought of that. If you've been doing body workouts or even like CrossFit or all the things, it feels very different. Not very different. The biggest thing I want to speak to is, especially in this exercise, you probably noticed the rest, like probably way more rest between sets than you're used to. And if you're like me, you're kind of like an adrenaline junkie and you like to push hard and you don't want to waste time and all the things. And so that is different for you. I want to explain why we do it that way. So especially with this kind of workout, building muscle is the main goal. So we want to fully recover or recover as much as we can before hitting that next set. So every set, we can bring our absolute best form, heaviest weight, and the most strain on our muscle. Not our heart, not anything else, on the muscle that we're working, right? So it's with intention that we're doing. Every time that we do these kinds of workouts, we're creating tiny tears in our muscles, and that's on purpose. And so if we're doing it right, challenging ourselves, your heart rate will still get up, but you don't have to rush through that, right? The most important thing, again, is the form and the heavy weights every single lift to really create those little tears to create leaner, stronger growth over time. Now, especially as women age, which I'll get into a little bit later, another huge benefit to training like this and really giving yourself adequate rest is that your cortisol, your stress valve, I'll call it, in your body isn't going to be triggered as easily, which is important, which I'll get to later. So just know that, like, yeah, it felt, you weren't like in panic mode, right? That's good. That's actually good. Unfortunately, again, if you've been in the wellness space for a while, like me, many companies keep creating programs that are fast, calorie scorching, like all the things, because that's what sells. Perfectly honest. That's why they're doing it. Because that's what people think they need. They've been thinking that that's effective and thinking that is the best use of their time. And it's just not true. It's just true. So we need to unlearn that idea of faster calories are what matters, all of that. It's just not true, especially for women, especially in the long term. And again, if you're like me, that's a scary thought. But I want you all to message me in a day or two when your butt is like so sore, like more sore than anything, because you will feel that workout. It is still effective. Your muscles will feel it. You'll feel it in the right ways and not in the wrong ways, right? So I really do want you to message me. You're like, oh my gosh, Caitlin, my butt hurts so bad because it happened. All right, so muscle. The reason why this program isn't all muscle building. There are other styles in it, but a huge focus is muscle, because what I want you to remember is muscle is the key to your metabolism. The more muscle, lean muscle, it doesn't have to be bulky, but the more lean muscle you have on your body, the more calories you'll be burning all day, every day. When you're doing just cardio, that's only burning calories in the moment. So even if you do like a huge crash cardio session, you burn like 400 calories. Well, that's all the calories you just burned, and you're not burning any more throughout the day. And your cortisol just got spiked, and your body's going to go into stress response. I'm not going to get in. I'm going on way too many tangents to get this done in time, but just trust me, you need the muscle. That's more important, and will keep you making progress longer than just a short temporary calorie burn from cardio. All right, so this kind of heavy lift, now I'm going to get a little bit into sinking. And if you're postmenopausal or menopausal, I will get to it because that is probably a big question, the most common question I've been getting. I wasn't going to include it because I already have like 4 pages of notes, but if you really want to know, I'm gonna go through everything. So sit tight. First, the hormone sinking piece. This kind of weightlifting, if you're cycle syncing, if you're menstruating, it's ideal to do at the beginning of your cycle. Now, I have a whole nother YouTube video where I talk about every single period of your cycle and what kind of workouts are ideal. Let me know if you want that video. This one's more just to give you the gist so we can get into other stuff. Yeah, and feel free to drop off if you have to. I know I'll go over 9 for sure. So this kind of lifting, heavy lifting, is ideal to be done in the first part of your cycle, right after your bleed, the first part, because your testosterone is high in correlation to your progesterone and estrogen. So you're most like a man. That's how I like to think of it. Right after your bleed, you're most like a man. As you get to ovulation, as you get excited to be with your husband, you're most like a man. So that's an easy way to remember it. So that's when heavy lifting, your body actually is prepped for it. It's ready for it. Your sex hormones are saying, hey, this feels good. This is right. And that's what all of this is about. The cycle syncing is all about matching up what's actually going on in your body and how you're challenging your body. So you're matching it up. So your body's not going, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I'm not ready for this. You're actually working with it. All right. And there are, like I said, it's not just all weightlifting. There are periods in our cycle where HIIT actually is good, where our body is prepped and ready to burn some fat. So in this 28-day program, we hit the HIIT when your body wants it, right? And we also slow down. Not only do we focus on the rest between exercises that you felt in that sample, but we give you rest days. Duh. This also was a scary thing for me because I had been trained like, if you can do it, you should do it. Like, if I can work out every day, maybe a rest day. But even that was a struggle for me for a while. But let me tell you, I experimented on myself for a year now. My results have only gotten better, and I feel 10 times better because I'm not beating myself. I'm not beating up my body. And I'm not working out as much because every 3 days I'm giving myself a full rest day. And again, I think in our heads, we've been telling ourselves like, oh, we're going to lose our results, or if we physically can do it, we should. Not true. Like, if you actually give your body the rest, those muscles that you just tore will actually come back stronger, and you'll be able to lift more if you give it rest versus pushing it through because you can. And then your muscles aren't ready. So they're not actually rebuilding, and you're just sitting in this cycle of no progress or barely any progress. Or you get done with a workout and you feel like you're exhausted and that didn't actually energize you, right? Like, we've all probably done those things before. And learning what our body needs and giving it to it is key to get out of those cycles and actually make progress. All right. So the biggest thing I want you to remember from all of this is that your body needs to feel safe to actually lose the weight. If you have excess fat, if you have excess weight on you, it needs to feel safe before it will lose the weight. That comes into play in so many areas of this, but that kind of key will get you to start understanding all the reasons why this works the way it does. Because like I said, I think a lot of us just think we've been trained that longer workouts, harder workouts, less to eat, all these things will help us lose the weight. Calories in, calories out, right? Like, we've all heard that forever. And it's actually not true, especially for women, especially in the long term. The way that we're wired, if you cut calories, if you work out more, especially as you get older, your body will actually resist losing that weight because it will trigger and say, oh, I don't feel safe. We might be going into a famine. We might be like, we're not getting what we need. I'm holding on to what I have. Again, I think it's hard. It's hard. You might have to replay this and just trust the process because I had to. But if you trust the process, you really feel the difference and know it to be true. Okay, so why that is because our bodies are different than men. Men actually can do calories in, calories out, and lose the weight. And I know it's super frustrating that they can just drop weight like that because they have testosterone, they have different sex hormones, right? So they do need to train differently. And unfortunately, most programs have all been created and tested on men. Like 80 to 90% of all health and wellness programs, eating, all of that, done on men, proven effective on men. Most of them excluded women completely because they're complicated, because we have those hormones. So again, like, that's why I'm so excited for this program because it's truly what works for women. And it's not just to sell you on something like, oh, 20 minutes, let's do this. Let's quick transformation. No, like we're caring more about what's going on inside your body and long term so that you don't hit those 3 weeks and then hit a plateau and feel like junk. It's really about like what keep working as you age and keep working over time. All right. Ooh, I'm going all over the place. So anyway, some things that women do that trigger that response of, oh my gosh, I'm not safe, hold on to the weight, is excessive or even just a lot of zone 3 cardio, HIIT training, things like that. Another thing, intermittent fasting, keto. Again, for women long term, that's actually going to slow down your metabolism because your body will go into like, oh, I'm not getting what I need. Oh, I don't think I'm safe. I'm going to slow down my metabolism to make sure that I survive and make sure that I can create a baby if you want, right? We are wired differently. And so that is why our body goes into hold on to it because I can't trust that I'm going to get what I need. Not eating enough healthy fats and proteins, constantly being in a calorie deficit, especially a calorie deficit where you're having 100-calorie packs of cookies or granola bars, or you're staying under your calories, but your body's not actually getting the nutrients that it needs. That is another big reason why a lot of women will start to feel their metabolism plummet because their body's not actually getting nutrients and they're in a calorie deficit for a really long time. Your body's gonna slow down because it's not getting what it needs. And again, that's because our bodies are made to create babies and to survive. And they will prioritize that over losing the weight. I mean, that logically makes sense, right? All right. So another thing I wanted to get to is aging. Why does this all change? Like, why does it all of a sudden feel hard? Why does it matter more as we age? In our 30s, how this kind of all works in our bodies is your ovaries kind of wave a big farewell and just slow down their production of sex hormones. And again, this actually used to happen in our 40s, but as time passes, we're hitting this sooner and sooner. And that's when I decided I need to get into this. When I heard this could happen in my 30s, and I'm 36 going on 37, I was like, I got to figure this stuff out. So in your 30s already, we're seeing that women's ovaries are starting to slow down their production of progesterone and estrogen, which are your sex hormones. When that happens, fun fact, your adrenal glands, which are tiny little glands above your kidneys, your adrenal glands are asked to pitch in. Note, your adrenal glands also create cortisol. Cortisol is what is helping you deal with stress. Okay, so these tiny glands are already dealing with the stress of your life and creating cortisol to help you handle it. So not getting enough sleep, having young kids that are out through the night, the stress of job, moving, like we all know in our 30s and even in our 40s, there's a lot happening that's already creating a lot of stress. So adrenal glands are already kind of taxed dealing with all of that stress, right? And as you age and as those progesterone and estrogen slow down, the adrenal glands are asked to produce more and more and more. So as you age, the adrenal glands are asked to do more and more and more, and they're already kind of stressed to begin with. Now add on cutting your calories, zone 3 cardio, and all the things I just talked about, your adrenal glands are like, holy crap, like I give up. I can't do this anymore. And that is why your body goes into that kind of fight or flight, but they just like stay, right? Like I'm not losing because I'm already dealing with all this stress. Um, Again, that's why over time it becomes a compounding problem because over time your ovaries eventually just stop producing the progesterone and estrogen, absolutely. And then your adrenal glands have to do everything. And again, they're already stressed, so they can't do any more for you than they already are, which is why it's so important for us to rest between workouts, to have the protein and the nutrients for our system, to do all of these things to help our body as we work out and as we fuel, to help our bodies feel safe to lose the weight. So we're not just shooting ourselves in the foot, working ourselves to the ground, not making progress. All right, what do I got? I'm trying to shorten this, but it's not working. Let's see. So yeah, you might say like, okay, so what do you suggest we do? First off, like I mentioned, like eating a lot of nutritious foods. I find a lot of women actually don't eat enough. And they're shocked by how much you can eat when you're eating nutritious foods. And again, by eating all those nutritious foods, it helps with your cravings because your body's full with all the nutrients. It help you no longer feel like those huge bonks of energy and like afternoon slumps and like reaching for the treats all the time because you're so full. Again, like you're constantly trying to eat all the nutritious foods. And you'll make, again, it seems counterintuitive that you eat more and you lose weight, but your body says, oh, I feel safe. You're giving me so much good nutrients so I can lose this extra weight. It all works together, right? And then, and FYI, if you are in the body world, I'm still a body partner. So I don't want to act like I'm like against everything we do. I still love the trainers. I still love the programs. I just tweak them a lot. I pause a lot and I don't like beat myself up for it. I actually know, hey, that's good for me. And like fun fact, dig deeper if you did it. That actually when Shanti trained and filmed it, there were 45-second breaks between moves. It wasn't until editing that those moves shortened to like 15 seconds. So even when Shanti trains, he gives himself more breaks. So I just want to give you that freedom that if you've been like rushing through and feeling like you need to keep up, don't. Again, I push pause without any kind of self guilt. I actually know I'm doing my body a service by taking the break. Um, what else? I feel like I keep. So yeah, long story short, for too long in the wellness space, women have just been pushing too hard, trying to do too many workouts, not taking enough rest, not taking the breaks, eating too little, especially not enough nutritious foods. And we need to unlearn this. And that is why I'm so grateful. It was hard for me, honestly, to keep tweaking like the body stuff because it's just not built this way. And so I love the opportunity. I still plan, I love body workouts. I'm still going to go back to it. And maybe you're doing CrossFit or you do something else. That's what I love about this program is it really helps educate you to understand how to work with your body, and you can then apply that to anything else. This hormone expert and trainer don't want to like compete and have a million different workouts every month and all the things. Like they just want to educate you so you can learn this, so you can use it in whatever other workouts you do after this. And eat well, no matter what other workouts you do, so you actually make progress. Okay, now the other soapbox I'm going to get on, because again, I've gotten a lot of questions on this, is women who are postmenopausal or perimenopause, and you're like, my cycle is all over the place. Or I even had a lot of messages of people who have like an IUD in, or they were forced through early menopause because of this, that, or the other thing. I want to explain to you, and honestly, I kind of resist this because it sounds a little like frou-frou or a little earthy, hippie, whatever you want to call it. But again, you got to try it and then you'll believe it. So I'm going to introduce you to something that you've probably never heard of, and that is the lunar cycle. Yes, the moon cycle. Again, I thought this was totally hippie, but so fun fact, if you aren't on birth control, if you don't have an IUD, and I mean like birth control, like a synthetic hormone, like the pill or something like that, if you don't have something that you're ingesting that's affecting your cycle, and if you are, I'm one of those people. If you're one of those people, you should start tracking when you get your period and then your halfway mark, because 95% chance it lines up with the lunar calendar. You'll either ovulate or you'll start menstruating on the full moon or the new moon. Like that will be your two end marks, the full moon or the new moon. On both of them, you'll have one or the other. You'll either ovulate or you'll menstruate because they're about halfway in your cycle. And honestly, again, I thought that was like crazy. And then I saw when I was in this group of all these women doing this sync program, the number like, hey, I got my period day. Hey, I got my period day. It was insane. Again, like the numbers did not lie. For those of us who didn't have any kind of form birth control or something else affecting it, we absolutely did menstruate and ovulate all together around the moon. So naturally, that I'm just saying that because naturally your body cycles with the earth. Your energies wax and wane. And think about the tides too. The ocean's tides wax and wane with the moon. We are made up of mostly water. So it is not surprising that we wax and wane with everything else. And I believe in God, and I believe that is just so freaking cool about how intricately we all are made and how it all works together. Some other more real life experiences is like when there's a full moon, if you wear kind of like those smartwatches and stuff, you'll probably see that when there's a full moon, your sleep is not as good quality sleep. And when it's a new moon, when it's like almost nothing, you have really great quality sleep. Like all of that affects your energies. And so that is what we do. So if you are in any state of not cycling regularly, we cycle you to the moon because naturally your body's energy will match up to that. So when it's, a full moon, when some of us are menstruating and it's a full moon, then your body needs the same thing. Your body needs less intensity, more eccentric muscle contraction because your body, it didn't get the quality rest that it usually does because it was a full moon. And again, I totally get that this may seem crazy, but you got to feel it and then you'll believe it. And even taking that out, like even taking out the lunar calendar, and even if you don't want to overcomplicate your routine with like cycling to the new moon, still, if you follow and listen to any experts in this field of training women, they all say the same. I shouldn't say all because there still are people who are preaching different things, but most experts in this space say the same thing for training women, that you need to take the rest, you need to increase your protein, you need to do zone 2 cardio, you need to build muscle. They all say the same things. And like I said, I don't know what programs you're following, but I think a lot of the commercially driven programs make it really hard to make those changes in a sustainable way until you feel the difference and learn it really well. When you learn it really well, then you can do it with everything else out there. But until that point, it's hard. So again, that's why and nutrition as well. Like this nutrition program is so focused on helping you fuel with so much nutrients that again, it will shock you how much you need to eat and should eat. But once you start learning that way and start doing it, again, it's not plan A from BODi. That's not enough food for long term. That's enough food for a fast transformation, not enough food for actual muscle building long term. And so again, getting that kind of insight of like how much protein should I actually eat, how much healthy fats should I actually eat to help you actually feel full and make progress and not have all these potentially nutrition deficiencies and cravings because I'm not eating enough. It's very eye-opening. And again, that is true no matter whether you're cycling or not. Okay, so I'm getting there. I promise. Okay, so the good news is I know I've gotten to some level of detail and there's a lot more that went into it, but why I'm so excited about this is that you don't need to be an expert. Like you don't need to understand how all your hormones are going. Like, sure, you could probably watch YouTube videos and try to learn from experts how to do this yourself. But they put this program together again with the exact kind of rest between exercises, fully fueled nutrition plan so that it's easy for you. So you can just push play on the workout and know and learn and feel how that works with your body and its energies. So they made it super simple. And again, it's not just the workouts. They have like between every phase of your cycle, whether it be the lunar cycle or the menstruation cycle, they have little videos from the hormone expert and from our virtual doctor explaining what's going on in your body. We're training this way just to give you, they're very short, but it helps you understand it, right? So you're not just mindlessly going through this. Okay, so let's see. Oh, goodness. What else? There's a lot more. Okay, the other, I did, there's two more things before I talk about kind of how this works and options to join. So first, the nutrition plan. So not only, I just want to give you a taste of everything that's going on behind the scenes because it's a lot. So not only are they really helping you fuel and eat more than you probably have ever in your life and feel better and lose weight, but there's a lot of science going on behind the scenes that is changing throughout the weeks. Because especially if you're cycling, there are things happening in your body. Like when you menstruate, you lose a lot of iron. And so in the meal plan, it's helping you boost that iron in natural ways. So you aren't feeling like you need to eat all the carbs during your period, right? And there's other things too, like seed cycling. Like again, with this also works with the energies of the moon, where you have energy and don't have energy and everything that's going on in your body as it relates to the earth. There are things that during certain parts of the month you would really benefit from, like something called seed cycling. And you can Google all this stuff. It's actually fun to geek out on. But in this meal plan, it incorporates things like seed cycling, where during certain parts of your cycle and your month, it's including things that really help, again, boost the nutrients that your body needs so you're not constantly feeling like you have cravings. Um, all that's happening on behind the scenes, which I absolutely love. Another thing is our hormone expert also partnered with a virtual doctor, roots cause, holistic, all the things. And so if you feel like you want to dig even deeper than getting this kind of fitness program, I just wanted to let you know that I do have the resources and the connections to also get you like legit hormone testing, blood, saliva, urine, all of that at cost through one of our virtual doctors. She's so amazing. And then you also can do consults with her if there's things, if you're interested in that. So I know some of you are like, I already know I have issues and I want to like get to the root cause. That helps you actually look into your specific body and see what you are actually maybe nutrient deficient in, what your sex hormones are actually doing. Are they actually working how they should, with the testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen actually working together how they should? So I do have those tools and connections if that interests you too. Okay, so I share all this, and the last thing I want is for you to be like, oh my gosh, this is way more complicated, and I just give up. Because I mean, our bodies are a little more complicated. That's true. Again, typically men have the easy job. But more than feeling overwhelmed, I want to give you hope, because I've seen far too much in this space. Women begin to feel hopeless when they do all the things I talked about before and they don't make progress. They're like, screw it, this is not working. Like, I give up. More than feeling overwhelmed and giving up, I want you to see that there is hope. There is a reason why all those things didn't work. And with learning, with unlearning some of the past stuff, with learning what is actually going in our body and working with it, you can make progress. It can feel good. It can feel satisfying. It can feel empowering. You don't have to feel like you got hit by a truck and be resisting the junk in your pantry for your whole life. It doesn't have to be like that. All right, so next steps. First, whether it's me or I think or Abby, whoever connected you to this call, reach out to us if you're interested in. You can just purchase the program by itself. It is on a separate app. Again, it's not affiliated to BODi, so it's in a different app. You can still screen share it to your TV and all the fancy things if you want to. So if you're interested in just getting access to like the 28-day fitness and nutrition program and doing it on your own, you can do that. Also, I want to encourage you to add on access to the pilot launch group. I don't know how many groups like this I'm going to do. It really will depend on demand. So if you want this kind of support and education, now is the time. So we're going to kick off on the 24th. It's going to be 2 weeks of prep. Yes, 2 weeks, because I have so much I want to share with you, aside from the very short videos that are in the program. So 2 types of people I want to seriously encourage to join the pilot launch group. One, if you have struggled with implementing healthy, sustainable habits in the past. If you struggled in the past, traveling in community. Most of us do. Do not see it as a weakness. Do not see it as most 99% of people have been in this space in 7 years. Most people need support. So do not back down from that and act like you're less than because of that. No. Second type of people who I really want to encourage to do the pilot launch group are people who really want to understand more of what's going on behind the scenes of this program. If you want to apply this kind of knowledge to other workouts, if you want to go back to BODi workouts, if you want to go to CrossFit, if you want to, do your own gym workouts, whatever it is, if you want to do other workouts after this, because this is just 28 days, yes, because of progressive overload, ideally you're repeating it 3 times to really see those differences and gains. But either way, like, again, this expert is not wanting to like compete and produce workouts after workouts to keep things fresh and interesting. So if you want to be able to apply this stuff to other workouts, to other foods, other than what's in the meal plan, you really need the pilot launch, honestly, because again, in the program, it's very short videos. Like, this is what's going on, because we know we're busy, right? So it's very Cliff Notes version. In the group, I'm going to be explaining to you, like, what is seed cycling? How is that put in? How much rest are we actually getting? Why is that? Like, all the I'm long-winded, but I really feel like this is crucial information if you want to actually learn and go beyond this program, to use it and apply it and not be dependent on these workouts or this meal plan for eternity. So I plan on adding a lot of education and value in that group. And we all know that changing our nutrition habits is probably one of the hardest things. And so also a big focus of this group will be on nutrition. Because FYI, fun fact, you're supposed to be eating 1 gram of protein for every pound of ideal body weight. So let's say a healthy weight for you is 140 pounds. That's 140 grams of protein. And you can Google food. The average woman is eating 40 to 60. So it's double, tripling the amount of protein that you should be eating. That's not an easy feat to do out of the gate. And that is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be sharing and helping immensely, explaining how I increase my protein, sharing ideas, seeing what other people are eating. So again, like, yes, you get a meal plan, yes, you get the guidance, but actually seeing how so many of us incorporate into our everyday lives, what we're feeding our families, realistically, how that looks on a plate every day, another huge reason to get in the group. And okay, this is the last thing, I promise. I also am so excited. I've been praying on this. I've been a lot of prayer, a lot of just soul searching on like how I really want to help you expand and dig in deeper, especially with my smallest going to kindergarten in the fall. And I'm so excited to start doing implementation coaching or one-on-one coaching as well for those who want to add that on and have that extra layer of one-on-one. We'll set up a series of calls and weekly emails one-on-one where you can really share your unique struggles, your unique goals, and I will keep you accountable and helping you actually make progress on them. I know for a lot of people, the group is not enough accountability. They often fall off of that. So, hey, if you pay for one-on-one, I bet that won't happen because you can't escape me. We're getting on a call. And I know for a lot of people, that's super helpful. And it's been really helpful. I've already done a little bit with some other people, and it was really helpful for me to actually see what you're eating, see what you're doing, because some of them were actually, shooting themselves in the foot by eating something that they thought was healthy that actually wasn't. Or they actually were doing all the right things. And I had the opportunity to see that, validate that, and then say, you are the kind of person who really does need to do that hormone testing. They did that, and sure enough, they did have issues. So they weren't spinning their wheels anymore. So just having that kind of inside view of what's you're actually doing and what's going on and helping you through that. I've seen that. So anyways, okay. Woo! I made it through. Those of you who watched this whole thing, congrats. That means you're invested. And I hope that means that you're going to join me in this pilot launch group. Because like I said, for me, I was super scared to start working out less, eating more, and all the things. But I've only felt and looked even better by doing so. And I'm not scared of aging anymore because I feel like I have the tools, I have the resources to keep doing this in a way that I can keep making progress. and feel my best. It might not always look the same as you get older, but you can still feel amazing. And I want that for you. So again, thank you for joining me. Hope you have a great weekend. All right, bye.